that's funny. Everyone just claps things once. They're like, all right, and I'm the guy. We already ruined. Got you.
I was trying to make that the intro of the video.
Peter, you're a child.
I was trying to get the bubbly ad.
Oh, yo, this is sick. How are they not sponsoring this?
Yeah, how are we not?
I came into the office to find this bountiful stash of yellow bubbly with the green pineapple top, which, by the way, I'm gonna look at the camera right here. Nobody in the office picked up on that. Like the top of a pineapple is green.
Didn't even think about it until you said. I was like, oh yeah, yep.
It tastes so good.
It's really good.
It tastes so good. If only there was alcohol in it.
Let's just talk about your conversion again to bubbly drinks. Sparkling water is now your jam. Not too many podcasts ago, you were just making fun of me.
Yeah, and not to just go on another note, I just noticed on this tab it says aloha.
Hawaiian.
That makes me feel so good.
Pineapples.
Yeah.
Wait, when you've been to Hawaii, right?
Of course.
Not
for 10
not
years.
for a long time. Yeah.
I think it was 10 years ago.
Was the last episode we were talking about how experience starved we've been?
Yeah.
And now we've had some experiences.
Yeah, I learned how to wheelie a kid's quad. And I feel like I've unlocked a new level of hick that I'm very proud of.
That is better than the U-Haul experience that
Yes,
I had.
yeah. We should still do that. We should legitimately make a video renting a U-Haul and making it the most fun vlog anyone's ever seen.
Just driving around Toronto in a U-Haul. Just picking up packages.
That's very vague. Yeah. What kind of packages, Matty?
that took a turn real fast. So you traveled. I've traveled.
Yeah.
Our first time traveling.
Yeah.
In over a year?
Yeah.
Over a year.
I've got two mixed thoughts about it.
Okay, let's hear
One, it was everything I hoped it would be. And two, it was super underwhelming.
Yeah.
At the same time.
Yeah.
It was both.
It's like riding a bike kind of thing.
It's like riding a bike.
You're like, oh yeah, I've done this before.
Yeah. And then like halfway down the trail, you're like, I'm bored.
I've done this before.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember now.
But part of it is that both of us just happened to travel to Vancouver, which is like in Canada. It's still Canada. It's different than here, obviously, but it's still Canada.
It wasn't like it's an epic place, but as far as the places you and I have seen, it wasn't as, and it's transitional season. Everything's kind of dirty. The snow is all dirty. It's kind of half gone, half there. It's like the weather's like, okay, I'm gonna start moving over. And I was only there for a few days, just shooting some photos for a brand, and I was by myself too.
That's a big difference to traveling by yourself. I think every time I've traveled all by myself, it's a little. I find it really lonely. I mean, you had some people.
I've done more than you have by myself.
Yeah, I find it really lonely though. Don't you find it lonely?
No, I'm used to it. I'm just used to it, so I don't actually mind it. But what it does make it hard to film things because you don't have you to bounce on. I can't run over and be like, "Hey, did you see the view?" And you're like,
but it's like let's say you're going to an event to speak or something.
Yeah,
you've done your speaking. You go back to your hotel, and it's like, what do I do now? And then it's like it's a lot harder to be like, I'm gonna go explore the city by myself. Well, versus if we were together, it's like, yeah, let's go explore the city. That's a no brainer.
I guess to that note, like when I do travel alone, I would specifically have it all booked where I wouldn't go back to the room. I'd literally speak and go right back to the airport.
You'd be done.
And just fly back home, right? It's like fly in from airport to venue, speak, back to airport, home. And I did that in Finland.
Yeah, you've been to my home country for literally, was it 24 hours?
I flew there, got picked up, taken right to the venue. I spoke, went back, had like a shower, went to the airport, and flew home.
And you didn't even go in the sauna.
Yeah, I slept
that whole time. You went to Finland and didn't even experience one sauna.
Part of the reason, though, for that nobody knows is my sister-in-law was having an engagement party like the day before. My wife was like, "When's the flight?" I'm like, "Tomorrow." She's like, that's like when the party is, and she'd been planning this for her sister and like was really like pumped for it. And I was like, I can't not be there.
Right.
So I was like, guys, I'm gonna have to like literally speak and come right home. Back, and then like I think I landed, drove in the driveway, changed, and everyone like piled back into the truck, and we went down to the city.
That's an experience. Like that's like what. Is it 10 to 13 hours flying?
Yeah, it was a long time.
And then you're just literally going there for like one day.
Yeah, like I saw
jet lag and all that. It's like,
but you know what? Not to go way off track. For like the little bit of time that I got to like go back to the room and change and then just look outside and fly my drone for I think like 20 minutes, it was great. It was beautiful. It reminds me of Muskoka, like
Very
way
similar.
up north, like all the little islands and cottages and lakes. And I will say it felt very familiar and like I was at home. And I was surprised by that. I thought it would just look different and all the buildings would look different and the landscape. I don't know what I thought. I just thought like Finland's different for sure. And then I got there and was like, yo, this is like home.
Yeah.
No wonder Matti
It's like
loves
you went
Ontario.
4 hours north, but instead you flew to a different country. The only big difference is the people.
Yeah. Do you remember that? Do you remember how I like...
Yeah, you tried to get them like... Did you try to like, get them like pumped, like the audience pumped up a little bit?
I tried to get them all pumped and to all say like, hi, Matti. Because I was like, my best friend's Finnish. And they're all like...
Hi, Matti.
I was like, anyway, let's talk about filmmaking. Yeah. So
classic Finnish people will come off like, like they're cold. They're not very good at like the small talk thing.
Yeah, you've told me this.
So they come off cold, but then once you like make a friend, you have that friend for life,
Didn't your dad say I was in some like Finnish newspaper?
Yeah.
They talked about it, or like, and they mentioned you because I mentioned you, and like you were like this guy and his Finnish friend or something.
Made the news. That's so funny. Okay, I'm curious.
Back to traveling.
We haven't traveled for over a year because of the pandemic, obviously. Was it scary for you? Were you nervous? Did it feel normal? Like, what was that for you?
Good question. Because that's what I ask everybody who's traveled. Like, what's
Same.
it like? Like, am I ready for it?
Yeah.
And I will say, I was scared coming up to it. I was scared to travel throughout this whole year, and it helped me because like you went. And Chris Howe went, and like it's like the whole Dope Squad went to BC within like a week.
Chris was in BC at the same time,
and Chris Ramsey has been in BC, right? So like it's like every one of my friends, like our whole squad, was in BC within like a week of each other.
It's because none of us can travel outside of the country because then we'd have to quarantine there and here when you come back 14 days. It's like it's just too much.
So this was like a clean way to travel and come back without having to do anything. But I was still a little bit nervous. Like, what's it like? What are the flights like? I will say the airport, it was a way better experience than I've ever had traveling.
It's like empty, right?
Yeah.
Usually Toronto has a pretty big airport and it has like this like big hangar looking thing and there's these big aisles, right? When we went, all of the other aisles were just empty.
Ghost town.
Except for one, and even that one had less than the typical one aisle would normally have.
Same here. So I got there, and I filmed a little bit of that in the vlog to show how empty it was. I haven't put it out yet or even started editing it, but
I can't wait for that.
That one aisle, but then I also I'm 75K, right? So I just got ushered to like the very end where it's like all private.
For those who don't know, if you fly enough, you get like status. So the key thing here is to choose one airline and fly with them a lot, so you get status, and then you get all these perks. Like even without paying more for, like you can buy just like an economy ticket, and you get all these perks of like going to the lounge and priority boarding, and all these great and free upgrades. You get like all these things. So at Pearson, Toronto's airport, you have like a completely separate entrance that's
for
like,
ticketing, for security, for lounge, all of it.
And it's like a completely different looking place and everything. You get through way faster. Everything.
What time did you get to the airport at in the morning?
I want to say like an hour. And actually, we probably an hour and a half because we were like,
what time was it in the morning?
Oh, what time did it fly? 8 something.
Okay,
yeah.
so it was around the same for me. So it was mostly empty. I will say when I came down from the lounge and went to the gate, it was pretty full. Like the waiting area was like packed.
Yeah.
And there was a full flight too.
Yeah.
But because I had those perks, I got the business class pod. So we were like the first on the plane, and those are already pretty separated from everyone else.
Yeah.
Like even within that section, like no one's really close to you. So that made it like really comfortable because I didn't have to like sit shoulder to shoulder with anybody. That might have made me a bit.
You're
like,
already like 6 feet apart.
Yeah.
No matter
So
what
from the moment I got there, I really didn't see anybody in the lounge. Everything was separated. You used to be able to go up and like just grab food. Now you had to go up and like order it from someone. They'd bring it to you. All the lounge tables were separated by whatever 10 feet and all the distance.
Yeah.
So like there was never a point traveling there and back that I felt, oh, this is sketchy.
Yeah.
At any point. But I do attribute a lot of that to flying business class with one of those pods. So, and I had so many points saved from not traveling for a year.
That
I was like, do you
upgrades
want to upgrade? And I was like, there and back? Sure. I'm like, okay.
So I couldn't leave these boys behind we flew in premium economy, which is like in the middle ground.
Yeah.
And going there, I had to sit beside like some random person. And at first it was kind of like, this is weird. Like I haven't done this.
Hour later, you're like, don't care.
Forever. Yeah. And then you're just like, whatever. Now we did wear like the N95, like heavy duty mask.
It like breathes with you.
I have so much respect for any like nurse or frontline doctors, anybody that's had to wear these N95s this whole time. Oh my gosh. Day. Like I did it for 4 hours and I'm like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I was dying.
They'd bring coffee by and I was like, oh, thank goodness. Take it down for a second. Yeah. I forgot I was watching Tenet and I must have just been so perplexed with how much it doesn't make sense. And she came back and was like, sir, your mask. And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry. I was lost in this maze of a movie that I still don't understand.
Yeah. I don't think anybody understands it by then.
Have you seen it?
Yeah.
What the heck? Dude, one, I didn't know that was Denzel Washington's son.
Yep.
That blew my mind.
He's one of my favorite actors.
I would have loved to have known that because I would have been trying to find like similarities or mannerisms.
But that could have thrown you off a little bit.
Yeah, but I would have enjoyed it.
Especially watching that movie.
But he was great. Because I came back and my wife was like, what was it like? I'm like, whoever played like the lead, like he was awesome.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, that's Denzel's son. I was like, even cooler.
Yeah.
But yeah, it made no sense. I didn't get it at all.
I don't think.
Are you supposed to?
I don't think Christopher Nolan even understands it, to be honest. I think it's one of those things where you're like, let's just go with it. If you think about it too much, it's not gonna make sense. It's fine.
I feel like every movie he does gets weirder and weirder. So like Inception, you're like, okay,
all right, okay.
It doesn't make sense, but it kind of makes sense, and
They're
I'm following.
in a dream. They're not in a dream.
Then you go for Interstellar, and you're like,
books are falling off the shelf.
He's in a black hole.
Space-time continuum.
The black hole means you're in a bookshelf.
Yeah.
Back in time.
I think I understand this.
Forward in time. Now his daughter's old, but he's young. Mars. Matt Damon's he's a big villain. and then you got
drones.
You Tenet, and you're like, first I thought it was Tenant for the longest time. I was calling it Tenant. Like all my tenants are moving out. Yeah. Right? So I'm watching Tenet. I don't even know what that means. And everything's backwards. And then like they're in these machines where it's like reversing time, and then they're back in time, and then they're going back. And
yeah, it's not time travel. You're literally going. Time is backwards for you're going backwards.
I don't know, but then he's like,
they're going forwards.
Don't meet yourself. But then he's fighting himself, and he sees himself. But they're like, don't meet yourself, or you'll die. And then his friend, and they've already, and like at the end, he's like, well, I'll see you. We have a great friendship, and I was like, you know what? F this movie, man. I just want to watch Dwayne Johnson jump off a building or something.
I think that's got to be one of the most confusing, like action battle scenes where you're like, is he going forwards or back? Is that guy going backwards, forwards? Yeah. What is happening?
I will say, kudos for like having the idea and then making it. Let's have the explosions, like suck back in.
Oh yeah.
And everything's backwards. Scenes,
I think they literally had to like try to fight like it would look like it's backwards, but they're fighting normal.
Because it would just not look good if it was just reversed.
Reversed,
yeah. So off topic again. That's what I watched on the airplane. Landed, everything was fine. Vito picked me up in a rental car. So like I didn't even get in an Uber or anything like that. So like that, it was super easy. Hotels were nice and clean. Masks. Everyone was wearing masks everywhere. I will say though, did you go to any restaurants in Vancouver?
Yeah, the restaurant experience is very different from what we're used to.
Heck, dude, talk about like back in time and time travel.
Yeah.
We went into the steakhouse and people just wear masks to like walk in the door to their seat. And then it's masks off and like party is normal.
Yeah.
The restaurant was packed, dude. Everyone was in there ordering drinks, like laughing. I was looking around just perplexed, like, what is going on?
I thought that it would like really change us humans and like we would never be the same. But I think this pandemic year has been so abnormal that when you go back to like normal human interactions, normal ways of being humans, it's like, oh, this is like, it doesn't take long and you're like, this is normal.
Yeah.
I'm not scared. Like when I went to the restaurant, took off my mask, at first I was like, okay, am I allowed to do this? Is this okay? And then after like 5 minutes, I'm like, just like, oh, I'm at a restaurant, you know?
You know what I feel like it's done for me? I feel like it's brought back like the magic in the mundane.
Oh yeah.
You know, because you and I would go down, have a coffee, go get fish and chips, do whatever we want. And it was like, of course, this is like our right.
Yeah, you take it for granted.
You're for sure like feel like it's just like you're owed, or it's like what you get to do because it's
of course
just
I can do this.
Life, you don't think anything else. And it's when it's taken away and then you get it back, or a little glimpse of it back. You're like, wow, I took everything for granted.
Mm-hmm. And now I went to that fish and chip spot. It just opened up for like and we were gonna like take out, and they're like, oh, you can come in, and there was nobody in there. And it was like the most exotic experience ever. I'm like, wow, this is really cool.
It's just made you like appreciative of like the little details that otherwise go unlooked always. And I feel like there was like people, me, you, friends, we go through life and you get little glimpses of those details and perspective and stuff like that. But like on a global scale, it's like everyone is at the same time enjoying the little details because we've all experienced the same thing, and everyone's excited about those little things now, which is kind of cool because everything's, and it just makes those little interactions now just way more meaningful.
Yeah, they're way more special,
way more fun, way more cherished. And like I wouldn't be thinking about the dinner I had in BC, and I still am, and I'm still talking about it. We're on a podcast talking about it. Where like I would never have done that before.
Yeah, in a normal trip, you'd never mention that like we went to a restaurant.
It's just like, a day.
Okay.
Of course you went to eat. Like you finished shooting and you went to eat.
Yeah, that's a normal thing.
That's what we do. But even so, that's not a normal thing.
It's like you would
even when it was normal, it's still not technically normal.
We never filmed ourselves in a restaurant like we're gonna eat some food. And now if we travel, we're like, look at this, guys, we're in a restaurant. Like,
guys, check out this menu. You just pulled your camera over this QR code, and the menu's on, which is actually super sick.
Actually so good.
First time I saw someone do that, I was like, what?
Yeah.
Just open your camera app. I'm like, what?
Yeah, everybody can just have a menu right away on your phone.
So it was pretty cool. It was very painless. I think the best part for me was the parking, because I always leave my truck at Pearson empty.
Yeah,
empty.
So many spots.
Like there was nothing anywhere.
Usually you're having to search through like 5 floors of like, not on this one.
I still got close parked when I came back. Some guy just on an angle, nice and close. And I was like, really, dude? Like the whole pandemic parking lot.
It's one of those things.
Close park the Raptor.
You know, it's like comfort in parking close to somebody. If you park by yourself, you're like, for sure somebody's gonna break into my car. You park it close to another guy, like, oh, we're fine together.
No one can get to the doors.
Yeah. For me, it was really interesting because a whole year of like, I've talked about this before, the experience deprivation, is that the right word? Like just being deprived of
like
it.
Experience starved.
Yeah. And then we go, so it was me, my brother, and Tyler. We go to Whistler, to the mountain, insane mountain, and we just get dumped on with snow. The most snow I've ever had in my life snowboarding. And just imagine being at like the top of a mountain and it's like pretty clear and just like it was like 40, 50 centimeters of snow.
Oh, I saw the stories.
Like a ton. And then just straight bombing it down this mountain on a board. You look around, snow's just flying everywhere. It's just the whole time, it's just like screaming. Like I'm pretty sure I lost my voice every single day.
I'm like down the sea on the good waves.
Yeah, you cannot, like it's just surfing down a mountain on a board and you're just flowing. Like there's no like you fall. It's just like you're
just fluff.
I'm pretty sure Tyler tomahawked is where you're like cartwheeling down.
Yeah.
Pretty sure he tomahawked like 17 times. And he's fine every time.
Didn't
He's like, oh, that's great.
Totally I was talking to Leanne, right? Because I was there shooting her.
Yeah.
And
you were with Leanne?
Yeah.
She's a snowboarder, pro snowboarder.
And she was like, you guys got like, she's like, they got like basically like right in the dead center of like a storm cycle.
Yeah.
She's like, which was really cool.
It was incredible.
She's like, he came at a really good time.
We got Bluebird Day, which is like blue skies. That's like pretty rare, I feel like, in Whistler. So we got to the top of the mountain. You can see everything. It's incredible. And then the second day just dumped on us, and the guy that took us around, he runs a YouTube channel, biggest snowboarding YouTube channel, and he said it was like one of the top 3 days of the whole season. He goes like 4 or 5 times a week, like he's there all the time.
Leanne goes like twice a day.
Yeah.
We were having coffee and she's like, oh, I gotta go, Helly's picking me up in 40 minutes and we're going to the top of this mountain to like pick a line and drop in on this spine, and she's got all this awesome terminology.
Yeah.
I even wrote a whole bunch of it down. You know what? This is a great time for that. This is when we were at dinner in BC, and I was like, Leanne, you sound so cool talking about all this. You sound so cool talking about, get out of here with all these, you know, when you're like trying to reset you got all like the verify this.
Yeah.
Popping up on my phone. Okay, so
notifications.
Here we go. We have.
Let's go through them. Let's see if I know them.
Do you know what sloughed out means?
Sloughed out.
So you don't want to get sloughed out.
I've never heard that one.
It's a slow-moving or fast-moving avalanche. Okay, a pillow.
Okay, pillow. I know.
Pillow.
That's
smooth.
That's like a pile of snow on top of like a little cliff or rock or something, and you can hit pillows. And just like bam, bam, bam.
Smooth round pillow top like mounds of snow to shred.
I've never really hit pillows. That's like next level stuff.
You do the move called butter, like a butter.
Butter. I know that. Yeah.
Storm slap. I think it's storm slap or it's storm slab.
Slab.
Yeah.
Storm slab is like an avalanche thing, right?
So it's fresh snow, not yet adhered to base layer, thus increasing odds of avalanche.
Yeah, they're always doing like they're cutting into the snow to check for like if you go, I don't know if you know this, if you go to a mountain like when we were there, the first day after it snowed, they didn't even open the tops of the peaks, and they're just bombing them all day long. You just hear these like explosions,
really,
because they're throwing to make dynamite, whatever I don't know, to make the avalanches come down.
So she showed me a crazy clip of a couple weeks ago where she dropped on like the top of a mountain and like the whole mountain breaks,
just crumbles,
and it starts sliding with her, and she's like, and then she bombs off to the side and outruns it, and I'm like, that is gnarly.
Literally, that's a good one. Yeah. Literally. As we were like planning the Whistler trip, that was like kept going through my mind. I'm like, and it's like it's so rare, but it's still like so
Storm
scary.
Slot, that was cool.
And they actually have inflatable donuts. So if you get caught in an avalanche, you pull this cord and it like inflates this like donut on you, so you stay on top.
We
of the
wore those
avalanche.
when we were sledding.
Did we?
Yeah. We both had backpacks on that did that.
How come I didn't know this? What if I was stuck in an avalanche?
Yeah, well, we weren't very prepared for that one. That dude was like, "Here, wear this, follow me, bye."
He probably told me all of that, and I was just like, "Throttle, okay, throttle, right, throttle."
That dude bombed like 10K ahead of us.
Yeah.
So you follow my tracks.
Okay, this is my second time on a snowmobile, by the way.
Have you heard of you've heard spine?
Yep.
Spine and bowls.
Yeah, we had some insane bowls.
Picking a line.
Picked a bunch of lines.
Dropping in.
Dropped a bunch.
Terrain trap.
Terrain trap. That I don't know.
A small depression where snow can fill in.
Yeah, I would have guessed that, yeah.
And things go bad if you fall into it.
So, for example, I picked a line one time, and usually like there's like some tracks, so like somebody's already kind of gone through areas. So I was like, oh, okay, I'll follow this guy's line, picking this line. And it was like this like, picture this like little like jump. And so like I like going in the forest and hitting these little jumps, pillows or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, that one looks good. I launch off of it. Literally leads to like just like a hole, like just a divot, like
just straight down.
Just straight down. I'm like, what? Who chose this line? And then you don't understand
like tree wells and stuff.
Yeah, first of all, tree wells, because you don't understand that the trees. You see the trees, but that's just the top of the tree.
Yeah,
there's like 6 meters of snow underneath.
You'll die in a tree well.
Yeah, you can. Well, if you're not smart and you're by yourself and like, well, I mean, accidents happen, but like usually you're not gonna die from it. But if you get stuck and you can't get out and nobody hears, then yeah.
Spooky.
So, but then also just trying to get out of that amount of snow, you're like. It's like you've worked out for an hour, like crazy sprints. That's just like that one trying to get out of that one little divot thing. So yeah,
it's like Travis Rice.
What that feels. You know what drives me nuts right now? I hear a Canon charger right now.
Do you actually?
I swear I've been hearing it for the last 10 minutes. We're gonna end this podcast because I need to find this charger. I swear. Where is it? Was I not right? There's a charger somewhere. We're finding that charger.